Straight ahead on News for Brockport, we'll tell you about a local hospital that's receiving recognition for their quality service.
Then what's happening in New York state legislation, and finally how gymnastics did this past Saturday.
All this and more, News for Brockport starts now.
Hello, welcome to News for Brockport. My name is Terrence Dickey.
And I'm Imani Coxum. Let's get it started.
Payless is well known for its variety of low-priced yet high-quality shoes. Last Friday, the company announced that all stores are expected to close by the ending of May. 2,100 stores will be closing in all locations across the United States and Puerto Rico, as well as stores online. In 2017, in April, Payless first filed for bankruptcy, resulting in 400 stores being closed after trying to reorganize millions of dollars in debt. Their efforts were not enough to save the company from its current downfall. Payless is not the only retailer to fall victim to bankruptcy. Stores like Charlotte Russe and Toys R Us also have had to close their stores due to their financial debts.
Award-winning actress Julia Roberts is coming to Rochester. The Oscar-winning actress will be accepting the George Eastman Award for her artistic talent and contributions to the film industry. Some of the previous recipients include Dick Van Dyke, Richard Gere, and Meryl Streep. Roberts will accept the award at Dryden Theater in the George Eastman Museum on Thursday, May 2nd at 8 p.m. Okay, so I love Julia Roberts, and I definitely think that she deserves this award because she's super talented.
Yeah, she definitely is. I mean, from the plethora of movies she's been into, from Pretty Woman, like from the start, I think that she's a great person to honor and things like that. So now we're going to take it to Lexie and Elena for This Week in Politics.
Hello and welcome to the first segment of This Week in Politics. I'm Lexie Culmore.
And I'm Elena Jonathan. This week we'll be discussing legislation, implementation, and how it affects you.
Police, doctors, and educators statewide are making arguments against Governor Cuomo's plan to legalize marijuana in New York State. Cuomo announced late last year that his push to legalize the drug recreationally would generate over $1.7 billion in sales annually. However, advocacy groups have argued that the passage of his proposal would pose serious health risks. Much of the backlash comes from parents who don't want their kids to be exposed to this potentially legal drug at an early age. Other backlash comes from law enforcement and the fear of impaired drivers getting behind the wheel under the influence of marijuana. Governor Cuomo is working towards legalization, and within the next couple months, New York State could see a change of legislation.
County Executive Cheryl DiNafalo was joined by Monroe County officials to call on Albany to address the reverse tax cut programs proposed by Governor Cuomo. Over 90% of the towns and villages in New York State would see that their incentives in municipalities or AIM funding completely eliminated. In Monroe County alone, the 2019 to 2020 tax cut proposal would lose over $3.3 million in funding for local services. With this tax cut, people all over Monroe County are going to be affected, especially people who depended on these services.
Governor Andrew Cuomo is looking to update seatbelt laws in New York State. Cuomo's proposal would require all backseat passengers to buckle up. Under the current law, only passengers under the age of 16 are required to wear their seatbelt in the back seat. According to the CDC, in 2018, more than half of teens who died in car crashes were not buckled up at the time of the crash. 28 states have already implemented laws mandating backseat belt usage. I think it's really great that legislature is being so proactive about this.
Absolutely. I know that anytime I have passengers in the backseat of my car, I always make them buckle up.
For sure. It is, the passenger's responsibility to make sure that they are taking initiative to buckle up and stay safe.
We'll see where this goes. I'm Elena Jonathan.
And I'm Lexie Culmore.
A local hospital is being recognized for its quality hospice care. According to a newly released list by Health Grades, Rochester General has been named one of the top 50 hospitals in the nation. Health Grade ranks hospitals based on patient care, successful treatments, and mortality rates. Hospitals that receive this rating represent the top 1% of all clinical facilities in the nation. Rochester General Hospital is one of the two only hospitals to receive this kind of recognition.
In the past 2 weeks, New York has been ravaged by one storm system after the next. Each with their own hazardous conditions, New Yorkers have endured anything from freezing rain to intense wind chill values in the negatives. These winter storms have also taken a toll on the roads, with multiple feet of snow dumped over Brockport. It has created whiteout conditions with very low visibility and extremely slippery roads. Several local schools have closed due to inclement weather, and commuters have seen numerous accidents. Brockport students and faculty members have dealt with the worst of this dangerous weather. State officials say that the weather has caused dozens of cars to slide off the road and strongly advise people to take precautions while driving.
I mean, when I first got accepted into the College of Brockport, I understood that it was up here in the cold, and I've experienced at least one winter up here, but the the winter that we're enduring right now, I
Wow.
don't know. And I mean, and I called my mom and I told her that we didn't even have a snow day, we had a cold day. Like, the wind chill factors are just that bad. So I mean, you just have to really bundle up out there, honestly.
Absolutely. And speaking of wind chill factors, let's toss it over to meteorologist Violet Scibior in the studio.
Thanks, Monty. Let's have a live look at your weather. Right now, we have some light flurries over us. We had a huge storm system that moved through the northeast yesterday, and we had a cold front that swept through the area. But right now, we just have some light snow showers from this storm. If we zoom in on this northeast, we have some light snow flurries coming off Lake Ontario. We have northwest winds coming down, bringing some nice cold air in. And these flurries should fizzle out by tonight for dry weather. Now, if we look at your high temperatures for today, they're only at about 26 degrees for Brockport, and it's going to be cold for most of the area as this cold front has swept through. A lot of cold air is going to move in, and even our wind chill values are down to feeling like 4 degrees today. And we won't get much relief tomorrow, as you can see. All the way down in the negatives is what it's going to feel like. And then our high temperatures for tomorrow don't rise up too much, only in the low 20s. Now we have another storm system that will move through on Wednesday, bringing in some more snow, and this will change over to sleet and freezing rain, which means some ice-covered roads, then switching over to plain rain by the evening. That's a live look at your weather. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks again, Violet, with the weather. Syracuse men's basketball coach Jim Boeheim struck and killed a man who was walking along Interstate 690 late last night. Boeheim was headed home after Syracuse's win over Louisville when the accident happened. The man was involved in a 4-car pileup prior to the incident with Boeheim. According to Syracuse police, Boeheim's blood alcohol level was 0.0. Boeheim has shown full cooperation and was released after a police interview. Local weather reports indicated dangerous driving conditions. At this time, police are unsure if the icy conditions played a role in the accident. Okay, so my heart definitely goes out to Syracuse and their basketball team because I know that Boeheim is well respected. So, yeah, I really do send them my warm regards.
Yeah, and I mean, they said he wasn't drunk. He's fully cooperating. So I just, like you said, I feel like it really was a big freak accident. And I mean, we just have to be even more precautious with these winds and weather that we were talking about and with the black ice and things like that. And now we're going to toss it over to Kyle Izard with sports.
Thanks, Terrence. The Brockport women's basketball team headed to Cortland for the first round of the SUNYAC quarterfinals as the number 5 seed to take on the number 4 seed, the Red Dragons. Fast forward right to the fourth quarter. With 31 seconds left, Emily Nessler takes the pass from Juliana Taylor and knocks it in. Brockport up by 2. Red Dragons try to keep their season alive. As time winds down in regulation, Shannon McGuire tries to hit the game-winning 3, and it falls just short. A foul is called, but the game isn't over just yet. Then Bailey Pratt inbounds the ball to Taylor, and the game is over. Brockport pulls off the upset, taking down Cortland 55-53. The Golden Eagles will travel to New Paltz on Friday to play the number 1 seeded Hawks in the SUNYAC semifinals. The Syracuse Orange men's basketball team upset the 18th-ranked Louisville Cardinals 69-49 at the Carrier Dome on Wednesday night. Syracuse forward Elijah Hughes led the way for all scorers with 18 points as Syracuse zone defense carried them to victory. Louisville was held to 30% shooting from the field and an abysmal 6 for 28 from 3. Syracuse gears up for a tough end-of-the-year schedule as they make their push for tournament hopes. Their next 2 games are against number 1 Duke on Saturday, February 23rd at the Carrier Dome, and at number 8 North Carolina on Tuesday, February 26th. In other college basketball news, number 8 North Carolina stunned number 1 Duke on their own court with a final score of 88-72. Duke's star player Zion Williamson left the game within the first minute after a freak injury saw Zion's left foot go through his shoe, causing a minor sprain in his right knee. 3 other top 25 teams fell on Wednesday night. Georgetown defeated number 17 Villanova with a score of 85-73. Florida shocked number 13 LSU in overtime, and number 6 Nevada lost only their second game of the season, this time to an unranked San Diego State team. In the quarterfinal round of the SUNYAC tournament, number 3 seeded Brockport hosted number 6 seeded Potsdam Tuesday night. The Golden Eagles get rolling early. First half, Justin Summers misses the layup, but Antonio Alvarez, the Brockport high school grad, with the one-handed putback. Brockport up by 2. The Bears looking to come close. Danny Del Sol Lowry drains the 3 from behind the arc. Potsdam back to within 2 points, but Brockport wouldn't let this game slip away from them. Justin Summers with the layup. Summers scored 12 points for the Golden Eagles. Then it's the star of the night, Danny Ashley. Here Ashley shoots the ball and is fouled, but count the basket. The freshman was not done yet. Here Chris Atkinson dishes the ball to Ashley for the deep 3. Ashley had 34 points for Brockport as they move on in the SUNYAC tournament 94-88 the final. Brockport will take on Plattsburgh in the semifinal round at SUNY Oswego Friday night at 5:30 p.m. Brockport's gymnastics team held a special fundraiser on Saturday. The team held their annual Stick It to Cancer meet against Portland. The Brockport Diner, local pizza shops, and Java Junction donated raffle baskets for the cause. Proceeds from the fundraiser at the meet went to Golisano's Children's Hospital. As for the meet itself, Taylor Kiel scored a 9.325 on the bars, and senior Candace Kowalik dominated all around with an overall score of 37.57. The Golden Eagles proved to continue to be one of the best teams in the nation. With this win, they improved to a 9-2 record on the season. The team will compete at the Ithaca College Invitational on February 24th.
I mean, I just think that that is so great for gymnastics and, like, you know, Brockport as a whole, and especially, like, a lot of our sports here are Division III, but gymnastics is Division I, so I just think that that is just so great, and I'm really commending them, honestly.
Yeah, it's definitely crazy how we are all participate in Division III sports, but our gymnastics teams is able to participate in Division I tournaments and win and be successful. It's wild that out of all the kids that come here, there's people from all over the country coming to participate on our gymnastics team because it's able to go in Division I tournaments.
Yeah, most definitely. And then, I mean, like, even the same thing that happened with basketball, I mean, they brought it and they came back, so.
Yes, that was an amazing comeback.
Yeah, it's definitely cool to see both the women's and men's team move on to the next round of the SUNYAC.
Yeah, we'll definitely be rooting for all of them, so thanks so much for Kyle. With sports.
Thanks, Terrence.
The Organization for Students of African Descent, also known as OSAD, held their week of annual events to get the students and faculty involved. Day 2 of the week event agenda was Juneteenth Day, where discussion was led by the officer of the club. They spoke about the importance of commemorating the day because June 19th was the day that slaves in the South were told that they were free, despite the Emancipation Proclamation being implemented 2 years prior. They discussed how important it is for African Americans and the history of America as well. This event ended with games and other fun activities. One of the main traditions and strongholds in celebrating Juneteenth Day is family and freedom.
A Webster mother is now taking on the burden of a $1,500 toll that her daughter accumulated throughout her time at Niagara University. The toll fee, which initially was $31, has increased to $1,500 because it was an unpaid fine. The cost of traveling home is a reality that students face at the college at Brockport.
My mom pays for my Easy Pass, and last month we did go over our usual takeout monthly because we were traveling. I know off the top of my head that the George Washington bridge has a toll, and that's $15 just one way. Right. So definitely, like, my dad never really says anything, but if I was paying for these tolls, I would probably be pretty upset because it does add up.
Many students take the New York State Thruway to get home and often have to go through tolls in order to get where they need to go. Although some students may have financial help from parents when traveling home, this is not the case for other students who have to pay their own tolls with their own money. Taking into consideration the cost, it can prevent people from traveling simply if they cannot afford it. Okay, so I could definitely resonate with this story because I travel in and out of Brockport because I'm from New York City, and I know that you are as well. So traveling back home can be pretty tricky. What do you think?
Yeah, it's a lot. I mean, when you're going on the interstate and you don't have your Easy Pass and you have to rack it up by the mileage and things like that, I mean, I think it's just better and it saves a lot with the headache as well. Then with the toll bridges coming down, I mean, you know, you just might as well invest and get it and then make sure that it is set up as well. So anyway, that's our stories for you today. We're at News 4 Brockport. I'm Terrence Dickey.
And I'm Imani Koksum.
We'll see you next time.